Hi everybody, welcome once again to another little low on health rambling vidcast. I'd like to thank you once again for watching these and those who are involved. Mostly it's kind of just a family and friends thing just to kind of keep up with each other and just kind of know what's going on, know what I'm doing. So let's just go and get this ball rolling real quick. I do want to mention there's basically been some news on Sony. They've delayed the launch of their PS3 motion controller, which just was their big should-do at E3 with Sony revealing their new motion controller and Xbox 360 doing their Natal project, or Natal, or however you want to pronounce it. Looking over this, after I read this article, I was more or less thinking, huh? Like, looking at this product, I don't really care for it. I mean, if this is actually what it's supposed to look like, I mean, there's some other pictures of it up. People don't want another controller like this to screw around with. I mean, I just don't understand why Sony can't make an add-on for their already wireless and motion-sensitive controllers. I was discussing with some of my friends about this, and they actually mentioned too, like, this is not the way to go. We're not really big Wiimote fans to begin with. If anything, we're kind of more intrigued by the Microsoft's Natal project. I mean, I personally kind of like the idea of the capturing of just inputs for like navigating. I mean, I think it'd be really cool to navigate like the Netflix queue or some basic menus with your hands, hands free with the Natel camera. And then some gameplay elements I wouldn't mind having being mapped to like actual visual inputs. They give examples how like braking and accelerating with pedals in a racing game, maybe the camera could pick that up and actually get the input where you could still use the controller to steer. I mean, I'm all for it as long as games aren't made specifically just to do that. I would like it to where it's either or you can mix it up and just not shoehorn something. That's really, I think, a big problem with me and the Wii is most of the games, like the Wii games, I want to play them with the classic controller. And it's funny, a lot of the Wii games you can play with the classic controller or the GameCube controller just because the Wiimote isn't really that much fun in my, honest opinion. I just want a controller in my hands. I know a lot of gamers just want controllers in their hands. We don't want to be waggling around or doing stuff. And that's why, if anything, we're more interested in the Tel project, which maybe can actually have some duality of having a high sensitive camera that can do stuff. But I just think it's interesting that they basically delayed it from spring, which I didn't even think they were trying, to fall because they want to produce games for it and they want to get it polished. In which case, I can easily see this being delayed more or just scrapped altogether. I do find it rather ironic how Nintendo came out with the motion controller and nobody, some of the companies are like, whatever. Now Sony basically put the 6-axis controller in their PS3 controller, in which case has been kind of horrible and not just great. So now they're doing the Wiimote. And I thought it was funny, too, that Sony actually had their Sony EyeToy, which actually I have one of. And that was kind of okay. They made some games and apps for it, but never really embraced it. And now Sony's going the Wiimote way, and Xbox is going kind of the EyeToy way, which is actually kind of interesting in my book. But who knows what's going to happen? I mean, we're all still waiting for the whole 3D update on the PS3, whenever that'll happen. I mean, that's kind of the next thing. I don't think we need new input devices unless I can just think it and then it happens. But who knows? That's just me rambling on. I just think it's interesting that they did delay it because I don't think anybody really cares. Moving on, I'm going to go to my GameFly queue real quick, which once again, they haven't really shipped me anything. Once again, I just did bump it down to Lego Rock Band. In which case, I just kind of want to get that and kind of play that over the weekend. If they will send it to me, it's medium. It should be available. Well, maybe not. But of course, we got Mass Effect coming up, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to. And then, like I said before, the usual White Knight, Bioshock, Heavy Rain, Final Fantasy, Just Cause, God of War, Two Worlds. And actually, I put Peace Walker in there because I did kind of forget that. Let me just move that up here real quick. Peace Walker, because they actually have a bundle coming out with it. And I do enjoy the Metal Gear games on the PSP. I enjoy the Acid card games, and I enjoy the portable ops. Let's just go ahead and move on here. Let's go to Xbox Live. Let's see what everybody's doing. I am doing this podcast a little bit later than normal. So let's see. Right now we just have Darren on playing Mass Effect, in which case he's gearing up because that's coming out next week. I know a lot of people are. And then Trent's, of course, playing Modern Warfare. Earlier on tonight, we did have a good chunk of us online playing Modern Warfare. We actually had to do like ground war because we had over 6 people, and it was real fun. Basically, Moose Ferratu is basically getting in the throws and getting kind of used to how the game's playing and all the different maps and types, and we're all just kind of having a good time. Another thing I kind of watched today, which I think is good to mention real quick, Game Trailers has their top 10 most anticipated games of 2010. Now, they're not saying these are going to be the best games. They're just saying these are the games that most gamers are anticipating in 2010. What I did real quick, instead of just going with the video, I just went ahead and wrote them down here. Final Fantasy 13, not 12. That's a funny production error there. Look at that, it's fixed. Ta-da. Final Fantasy 13's up there, in which case I'm not really anticipating it. It's kind of on the bottom of my anticipation list. I really, at this point, could care less. You have Red Dead Redemption, which is basically, the Rockstar Grand Theft Auto people, Wild West, in which case, it could be kind of fun. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of 6 shooters. I didn't really enjoy the Juarez games, but whatever. Bioshock 2 is anticipated, and I am anticipating that. Totally forgot about the Castlevania Lords of Shadow, just because I'm not too sure that's actually going to come out this year, but people are kind of jonesing for a new 3D Castlevania, in which case I'm almost kind of afraid it's going to be kind of a more God of War clone. And now thinking back, I think probably my favorite 3D Castlevania is I really enjoyed the Curse of Darkness on the PS2. That's always a fun little Castlevania game to play, not along the normal lines of the Metroidvania. Of course, there's now Halo Reach, which I kind of also once again forgot about. Halo game. I liked the book when I read it long ago. I haven't read all the newest books, but I've read probably 3 or 4 of them, the Halo series books. Halo Reach is good. I mean, if they give you the actual history of the Spartan Project and whatnot, so that has promise. StarCraft 2, once I heard they were dividing this up into 3 different parts, I stopped caring. I'm just going to probably play a little bit here and there and really embrace it after it comes out. So about 4 years, I'll probably be really enjoying StarCraft 2. Of course, there's Mass Effect 2. Also, once again, like I mentioned, Darren's playing that. It is anticipated. I am anticipating it. I will be playing the hell out of it when it comes out next week, and I'm actually kind of getting geared up for it, anticipating it. God of War 3, really, like I said, I've kind of played enough God of War type of games. After playing the Chains of Olympus on the PSP, I was kind of okay with it, but it's kind of like the Devil May Cry series, where basically if it's fluid and good and fun and playable, I will enjoy it. So here's to God of War 3. Then, of course, on their anticipation list is Super Mario Galaxy 2, which they have to put something in there for the Wii. A lot of people love Super Mario Galaxy. Not really my thing. Don't even have a Wii now. So I'm not really anticipating it, but I can see where a lot of people would. And another game that kind of slipped my mind, because I once again don't think it's coming out this year, is going to be Metroid Other M, which is, of course, going by Studio Ninja. And it's going to look great. I mean, but the problem is, now looking back on it, it's probably going to be for the Wii. So I probably won't be able to play it unless I go get one. And, I haven't been a big fan of the recent Metroid, like the Prime series. I'm not really dig the whole first-person vibe for it. But this is hopefully going kind of back to its roots. Maybe it's going to be like a 2D, 3D type of game along the line of a Shadow Complex. But here we're hoping to maybe that being good. Now, a couple of games that were not on this list, that of course, I understand mainstream media and what most people actually want. For me, my most anticipated games, like if I had to pick a top 3 for this year, it's going to be Yakuza 3, Heavy Rain, and Just Cause. And now, I know we got Heavy Rain coming out in February, then you got Just Cause coming out after that, and then hopefully Yakuza 3 sometime within this first, half of the year. Which actually made me realize something, that most of these games are actually coming out really soon. I mean, if you look at it, BioShock is a couple weeks away, Final Fantasy is a couple weeks away, Mass Effect is like next week. A lot of these games are kind of coming out soon, which, a lot of these were pushed back from 2009, the holiday season, to avoid the conflict with Modern Warfare 2. So it makes me wonder what other games are coming out this year. I mean, this is the top 10, and then you add maybe my 3, that's 13 games coming out this year that a lot of people are looking forward to. And I mean, I guess if we go ahead real quick and look at my GameFly queue, if you have time, of course you do. Looking over this list here, I mean, these are basic games. I guess White Knight, but that's not really anticipated. But, Front Mission, maybe I'll get to, I know there's been some trailers and stuff out. Who knows how this one's going to go. I would love it if they brought 5 over. I know it's been fan translated, but I never really got to it. And, of course, 3 is my favorite Front Mission. But a lot of these other games, are all hearsay. They're TBA. Who knows if they're actually going to come out this year. Dead Rising 2, that's another one that, once again, hopefully we know is going to come out. Last Guardian's kind of the other one. Alan Wake, some people were talking about. But I'm really interested to see how this year's going to turn out. I mean, looking at this list now, who knows what's going to happen. But hopefully I'll be doing a lot of gaming soon. That's really about it. I do want to thank everybody for watching this and continuing to watch, and I hope you guys all have a good day.